Mertz, are you crazy?
I probably would need a professional help on that one.
We should get a professional opinion. I wish we
Yeah,
had
I
someone.
wish we knew somebody that was professional.
I don't know.
Oh,
Holy crap.
we do have a professional.
Did we just rub a lamp or something? Do you have a lamp? Are you a
You
genius?
got to rub the coffee cup.
You rub.
Exactly.
Mertz is over here rubbing all the glassware in the gym. I wish I had a.
All right. So we do have professional help today.
We do have a professional. Well, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Coach Tanya.
I'm Coach Mertz.
I'm Nat.
This is Nat. And this is Affiliate Soapbox. Woohoo!
Yeah, it is.
All right, folks.
Beautiful.
All right.
All
I think
right.
the main question we have today, Nat, first tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do?
So I'm a member of X7 CrossFit, but professionally in my day job, I am a licensed professional counselor, and I see folks individually and couples and groups for therapy.
Beautiful.
Fantastic. I
Hell.
think as a couple of talent, we probably need a little bit of therapy.
I think therapy is one of the things that are so important in our lives nowadays. In fact, I'm in the middle. I'm almost finished reading this book that is it's written by a psychiatrist, psychotherapy, and how it links a lot of things together. And it's the evolution of a therapist has come a long way. It seems like.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So we come from Freud.
We come from France.
Where he has you lay on a couch, asks you how that makes you feel. You want to fight your dad or marry your mom or whatever. And now we talk a lot more about what works for you as a actual human being and how do we make your brain function better.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we could definitely use some of that for Mertz. I mean, how much couch? Should we get a couch? Do we need a couch?
Mertz can, lay on the box.
We could lay on the boxes.
Figure it out. You don't have to lay down anymore, it turns out, for therapy.
Right. I even see now, like a lot of advertisements, a lot of things now. You do it on Zoom calls. You don't even need to be in the office.
That's primarily what I do. So I actually see folks in 3 different states. So Louisiana, Ohio, New York. So I can be talking to somebody who's in New York City dealing with their snowstorm right now, and how do we manage those stressors?
That's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. Fantastic. So let me just ask, what is the main thing that you talk to people about?
Yeah. So I would say mindfulness is the biggest thing. And when I'm talking about being mindful, I think people think you've got to be still, you've got to be quiet. But we can be mindful in movement too. We can be mindful in how we do the dishes. We can be mindful in how we speak to our partners. We can be mindful in almost everything we do.
That's interesting. Wow. Can we be mindful at the gym?
We can always be mindful at the gym, right? Some of it's showing up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So exactly. So let's talk just in terms of maybe a CrossFit workout. What counts as mindful? Like, can you give me an example of what that means?
Sure. So like this morning's workout that Coach Kyle put me through right before I had to come on a podcast. I needed to be mindful. What's my body doing, right? I need to be very aware. We as a society have gotten away from connecting the brain to the body. But now suddenly I had to realize, I need to plant my feet. I need to stop moving that. I need to be aware of what are my shoulders doing, because my shoulders are always doing that. But that's that connection. And we're being mindful in how we show up, how we move, and we're staying with it. Even if we don't want to, when we stick with it, that's mindful.
The hard things. Yep. Getting through those hard things. We also often talk about the pain cave. And
you talk a lot about the pain cave. There's this cave that apparently Mertz spends a lot of time in.
Time to see what's inside.
Yeah.
I visited it during the open, right? With Mertz. But
right. It's talk a little bit about, if you could, and if you can, about when we're going through these hard workouts and what does your mind go through?
Yeah. So our brains as humans have one goal, and that's keep us alive, which is why sometimes we stop during the WOD to take that deep breath or to go, I don't know. The reality, though, is we can push a lot further with our bodies than we initially think. So it is like taking that deep breath going, okay, yeah, my body hurts. It's not going to hurt much worse than this. How do we make that next step or that next burpee?
Yeah, oftentimes I'll say, your brain will get in the way of your body. Like your brain will oftentimes think that you're at that peak when you actually have your physical self has more to go, and trying to train your brain to get past that little bit. Yes,
And
it's hard.
how would you do that? How do you first off, how do you know that your brain is not unnecessarily, but maybe prematurely stopping you? And then how do you push past that?
Yeah. So I think it's that like one more rep mentality,
Oh,
right?
love it.
Like
Love
what
it.
our
Yeah.
coaches did, like, hey, just do one more. I work a lot with neurodivergent folks, a lot of ADHD, autism, OCD, and a lot of times I'm in that community myself, we get stuck. So what I'll always say is, hey, just change your position. If you're sitting down,
Mm.
stand up. So in this case, do one more rep.
Oh,
If it's the burpee, hey, fall back down. You're going to get up anyway. So you might as well get that next rep count up.
So, does yeah. So what's the difference between you doing it yourself, whether it's get that Mertz, get up, get back at the bar, Mertz, stop talking. What's the difference between, say, that, like if you've got a coach pushing you, a coach, cueing your form. So is that mindfulness or is that just being prodded along? How does that mesh? How does that go together?
So it's both, because the coach is there to help you, because most of us are more motivated by external factors. I knew someone else was coming to the gym this morning. I wanted to see Coach Kyle. I wanted to see my fellow athlete. I wanted to get a good workout in. So me showing up, that motivation's easier in a group. But then once we are in the gym and we're doing it, sure, it's great that the coach is cueing you. Please listen to your coach.
Yes.
But
Yes.
we're being mindful in that, what can I take? Because we're taking that cue and saying like, okay, one more and then I'm going to check in. But that is to go, okay, one more burpee. Okay, I guess it wasn't as bad as I thought. One more burpee.
well, a good question here is, okay, so yes, this happens inside of the CrossFit gym, and that external stressors that we invite to ourselves when we walk inside these doors are there because we're showing up in the external world, the external stressors. How do you deal with those kinds of things? Same way?
Yeah. So that, I think you just, you change the position, you look at things differently. Because we all have stress in our life, but there's actually good stress and bad stress. So
Lots of
we
stress.
balance those. So when I say stress, it's not always negative. Like your family coming to visit, really exciting. Could be a good stressor because you're like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm going to show them everything. I'm going to take them to the box. I'm going
Are
to
you
do
gonna
all
clean
these
my
things.
house?
And then there's the bad part,
yeah, the
right?
bad
And
part.
then you need like a few days off after that. 'Cause you're like, because that's the good stress, stressing you out in a positive way
Right.
almost.
Because also good stress can be our motivator, right? Like, hey, the open just happened. So for a lot of us being like, well, my teammates are counting on me to show up, or I want to cheer them on, like that's a good stressor. Some of us feel differently about competition. That's
So yeah,
okay.
I mean, what does competition do both positively and negatively for someone? We talk about the open. We have some athletes that go to other local competitions or beach brawl. How is that good and or bad for
Yeah.
an athlete?
So it's both, right? And a lot of it is the way we're looking at competition. Are you trying to be better than you yesterday? That's good. That's what we want in mental health too. I'm like, hey, was it a little easier to get up and go to work? Was it a little easier to clean your house today? Was it a little easier to go take the walk or go to the gym? Um, for some folks, they really are stressed about external, right? Too much like, oh, that other team looks really fit.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
other athlete looks so fit. Lance behind me at the open was so dressed up.
Costume extraordinaire.
That was a good
Wow.
stress though, because I was like, man, I got a great athlete right behind me who I can't look at because he's in a wig right now. It motivates us.
Maybe a bad stressor, that wig. I don't know. That was a very stressful wig.
You know, and that's a good point there about looking at other competitors, right? A lot of times we fall into this trap of I have to be better than so and so. I have to be better than so and so, and it can be healthy, but it also can put you through too much stress and cause too much injury or something like that.
Because the goal isn't beat someone else, it's beat you from yesterday.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So can the dependence on movement be too much? I mean, at what point are we putting ourselves through, like, there's folks that don't take any days off, got to get to the gym 6-7 days a week because otherwise they can't manage mentally everything else. Like, how do you know when it's too much? At what point are you overcompensating? If
Sure.
that's a thing.
Yeah. So there is actually like a condition called orthorexia where we get so obsessed with fitness, with clean eating, with things that it can actually damage our mental health. Most folks are not there. That's more rare. That's usually athletes who've been very competitive for a very long. We see it a lot with ballet, with gymnastics. We do see some CrossFitters with it, but I think it's the stimulus of why you're going, because sometimes we show up to the gym for our mental health, but yeah, maybe the day you showed up for your mental health, you need to lift lighter, or you need to say, hey, coach, I want to be here, but I need to modify everything because if you just let me at this WOD, I'm going to be injured. So like you can cue your coach into of what you need for the day, but maybe for your mental health, you need to see your friends, you need to see your coach.
And say that word again. It's
orthorexia.
Orthorexia, yes.
So that's when we get obsessed.
I probably went through that several times in my diet alone. Like I remember paleo, right, back in the day, and I stayed away from all carbohydrates, and I did a competition. I went hypoglycemic, and I learned I need carbs. Eat the banana.
I think especially Mertz needs carbs, but I think that's what is the psychology of you see all these influencers, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, and I think that's one of the worst. We say that as we're podcasting and putting it on
social
Instagram,
media platform.
But what is the damage done there? Because we get so many tips or new diets or new exercise fads from social media and the internet. How do we?
Oh, the internet. So we're talking psychiatry now, mixed with the internet now. Oh, this is
right. But let's talk about like the fitness influencers.
Wow, that's a deep dive.
Yeah, I mean, I spend most of my time telling clients like, please stop like looking to these other folks for this, because yes, they might have good info, but they're selling you something, right? They are promoting something. And I think we learn better from our interpersonal, like me talking to you all. It means more when we communicate than some stranger on the internet who goes, hey, you should go to CrossFit because I have a 6-pack.
Yeah.
Like I never have a 6-pack and I'm still going to.
Yeah, there's no dialogue there, right? There's no, it's just.
You could look like me, maybe, and we have no idea what that person's mental health, physical health, genetics, that's their job also. So if your job is your body's going to look different than the rest of us who go to work a 9 to 5 and just like to throw down at the gym.
Yeah.
So what would you say to people who are constantly looking at these social medias and thinking this is where I need to be, that's where I need, what's your advice for people? Because social media is overwhelming.
Sure. And I love a unfollow. I love a snooze. I love you can actually restrict your now. Has the algorithm figured out how to do that? But
creepy.
When I was doing a lot of work with eating disorder recovery and I was in my own recovery, I had to snooze all these accounts that I didn't even think about of like, well, they don't push weight loss. And then I'd be like, oh my God, but they do.
Yeah,
so when we're in recovery from that space, sometimes we have to hit the unfollow. And if a friend wants to clue you in, hey, I think you'd love this new like athleisure set that cool, they could just send you the link and you would trust word. Your friend.
Yeah. I love that word.
Yeah.
So I think anecdotally too, another question. So what do we do? So we do have at least a handful of athletes whose spouses send them to the gym. They're like, go do CrossFit. I can't handle you right now. You need to. So there's that outside push. As a therapist, just as a human being, what has CrossFit done for you that would warrant sending someone else to the gym?
So I think in therapy, we always talk about health promoting behavior, right? Because I came from that eating disorder space. So I don't want to say, hey, you're not going for an aesthetic, right? You're doing things to improve your health, moving your body mindfully, moving it joyfully, even if, burpees and I are not joyous. But I feel better after I've moved, after I've been with people. So that's why people are sending their spouses, right? Because they're like, you come home enthusiastic. You come home a little better than you left. You were able to leave work at home. Because that's my other thing. My job's heavy. So if I didn't work out, I would be seeing my therapist like double time, and I can't afford her.
Well, yeah, you get that dopamine rush after, right?
Yeah.
And all those good stressors and that you just went through really pushes you to a happy state.
All right.
It should.
I think that happy state is what we're all chasing. So just if we had to put a cherry on top of, the mental state that we're in and what we're searching for, what advice would you give people, in combination with the mindful movement? The world is super stressful right now. There's more news, there's more social media than ever, but we don't want to be out of touch. What is maybe one practice or one thing that maybe all of us could start or take into account to move forward every day?
Yeah. So the world's a mess. Like, I don't care what your beliefs are. It's a little messy right now. Put down the phone, go do something with people. And that could be one person. If you're really introverted, pick your person. For me, it is coming to the gym. It's having that community. It's having that moment, but just put the phone down it'll all be there.
Yeah.
Cause I love my Instagram as much as anybody, but put it down for a sec after you watch this podcast.
Exactly. Not right now.
Go move, go do something with your people, go talk to somebody. You're going to feel a little bit better.
Well, I think a big part of that is perception is reality to us a lot of times. So we're constantly on the phone, and look, you go out the outside world, it's out the doors. It's totally not what you see on Instagram. All of the different things that are going on in the world. Yeah, that's happening around the world, but it's not happening outside our door. Get outside. Go to the park. Do something a little more active. Get around people. If you like to go to a bar, you like to go to a restaurant, hang out and talk to people. And you'll find that we're all just human beings living trying to live a happy life.
Yep. I think that's true.
So I read this book called, and I tell you, one of these books, one of my favorite books I've ever read is called Comfort Crisis.
Okay.
And
read that one. I'll add it to the TBR.
And what's great about it is this journalist, he basically hooks up with a couple guys that go on a professional caribou hunt in Alaska and Arctic. And it's like it's like a 3-month, it's not just, a week. It's 3 months of hunting caribou, right? And they probably don't.
So out in like the Alaskan wilderness.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
And dangerous. And so I think, and a lot of points about this book, every chapter deals with something a little different in terms, and one of the things he talks about the, the internet and and we're with the phones and all that stuff. And what I really liked about this section of the book was talking about, you got to think about it, like human beings, we've learned to survive and endure going through so many different calamities over human evolution, right? And we didn't have hot water till like 70, 80 years ago. So we're in the most comfortable state that we ever been in.
Unless you're in New Orleans where we get constant boil water advisories, which is...
Well, and so the idea is that as humans, we've always been built to endure and survive. Well, we need those external stressors to make us grow. Right. And without external stressors like we are as human beings have come to go through, and now we're in this again, hot water, internet, electricity, we don't have these stressors like we used, like the actual like survival stressors. So we end up in these kind of like fights amongst ourselves, where like look at like even the political front or whatever. Look at any country, and we always are. You look at people who rage driving their car behind somebody going slow, right? It's like we don't know how to combat that. So we end up our human nature is to combat. So these little things, these little pet peeve or anything that happens in the world, we tend to want to kind of fly off the rails and go nuts about it.
But do we need survival stress in order to survive?
In order to survive? I mean, we need a degree of it, right? But that's what the bottom part of your brain. So if we're looking at neuroscience, your bottom brain is that like basic fight, flight, freeze, fawn. It's your like, it's the part that kind of keeps you going when everything else in your top brain is overwhelmed. Because basically top brain's what makes us humans, but it also gives us like anxiety and stress.
Right.
Your middle brain holds your memories. Your bottom brain is like breathe, sleep, seek shelter, eat, all the basics. So when we live in like bottom brain, that's what
Oh, interesting.
happens. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, cool.
Right. So that's
Alright.
like your pain cave.
That's my pain cave. And Noah's other really cool thing about this book is another section. He goes around the world in each section and talks to professionals within each development of this, right?
Yeah.
And one of the he went to this place in the Himalayas or something, little village, and this little village was right in the top like 10 of the happiest places on earth. And it's like third world country almost, right? Well, the reason why they're so happy is they think about death 3 times a day, when they wake up, in the middle of the day, and before they go to sleep. And once you get adapted to thinking about death, because as Western society, we're always pushing it away,
Right.
scared of it. And then we accept it and you start looking at every day as a positive day, because you're looking at
Not bad
death.
yet.
You're looking at death in the long
I
run.
mean, I really
Yeah.
only think about death when I get on the interstate, to be honest with you guys. Like, that's really, I learned that from The Matrix. And folks, speaking of following and unfollowing, this is the Affiliate Soapbox. Please like, share, and follow. I'm Coach Tanya.
I'm Coach Mertz.
And this is Natalie. This has been the Affiliate Soapbox, folks. Please join us next week.
Cool.
Have a great week, y'all.